Hi, friends. This is the part 2 of the math lesson for Unit 3, Lesson 2 for second grade. Yesterday, we focused on squares. Today, we are going to focus on what is called a rectangle. Now, a square and a rectangle are very similar, but a rectangle is not as picky as a square, and you'll see why in just a moment. So, on my paper, I drew 3 rectangles. Now, if you notice, each of these rectangles has 4 sides, right? So that is one thing that a rectangle must have is 4 sides. Now, if you look at the sides, they're not all the same, right? So it doesn't need 4 equal sides, but I want you to look at the sides. I have 8 and 8, 3 and 3 right there. 2 and 2, 6 and 6, 5 and 5, and 4 and 4. So, how would you describe these sides? So, if I were to say this side, this top side, and this bottom side, I would call these opposite. They're opposite, they're across from each other. So, we would say that the opposite sides are equal. So, 4 sides with opposite equal sides. Or you can say with opposite sides equal, either way will work. Okay, so that's the first quality that a rectangle must have. Now, if you notice, I forgot to draw them here, that each of these rectangles also have square corners or right angles. So remember, a square corner or a right angle means I can put my ruler in and it looks perfectly, it fits just perfect, nothing left over on the side. Okay, so a rectangle also has 4 right angles, or we also call them square corners. Okay, so this is a rectangle. Rectangles. 4 sides with opposite equal sides. So the ones that are opposite each other must be equal. And it has 4 right angles or 4 square corners. So let's jump into our math book. You need for this lesson a pencil, your centimeter ruler, and page 122. All right, so here we go. It reminds us of the definition of a rectangle. It says a rectangle is a shape with opposite sides that are equal in length and 4 right angles. So, of course, we know that. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw a rectangle. We need it to be 6 centimeters long, so side to side, and 3 centimeters wide, which is up and down. So I want you to grab your rulers. Remember, you're going to start by drawing that top line. Remember, we hold our ruler with our non-writing hand. We always start at 0, and we're going to go from 0 to 6 and then stop. Once you do that, remember you're trying to make it as straight as you possibly can. You're going to draw both of your 3 centimeter lines going up and down. Line it up as carefully as you can. And then you should be able to close your rectangle, which it should line up if you did it as perfectly as you could. So we have our 6 centimeters. So there is our 6 centimeter long and 3 centimeter wide rectangle. Don't forget to draw in your square corners. If you need to pause the video to finish that, you may. And then for the next part, it wants us to look at these shapes. So here are 2 shapes. It's asking us, are these rectangles? Well, let's go through our checklist. So we know, actually, we can use this box up here, that it is a shape with opposite equal sides, okay? So if I look right here and right here, they look about equal. Let's measure. That one's 4. Ooh, that one's also 4. Let's measure this side. That one's 2. That one's 2. Okay. Opposite equal sides are good. That one's a little more than 1. Little more than 1. That one's about 2. And that one's also about 2. So interesting, right? They do have opposite equal sides. So it must be a rectangle. Or is it? These shapes are not rectangles. I want you to think, why aren't they rectangles? Take a look at what we're missing from up here, what these don't have. Did you say square corners? We're missing some square corners, right? The sides are equal. It has 4 sides, opposite sides equal, but it's missing those right angles. If we were to take our ruler and try and slide it in, there's extra space on the edge. So those are not right angles. So in answer to question number 7, are these shapes rectangles? The answer is no. They are not rectangles because the angles are not right angles, right? So because all right, so if you need to pause the video and finish writing that, please do so. Okay, so for number 8, this is a very common question that people might ask, and it's saying, is a square a rectangle? Explain why or why not. So I want you to start thinking about this. If you want to write down your answer, you can, but we're actually going to discuss this in our small group today. I'm meeting with all 4 groups, purple and blue at 105 and pink and teal at 125, and we are going to discuss this question and answer it. So your job between now and when I meet with your group is I want you to come up with a decision. Is a square a rectangle? Why or why not? Yes or no? If you want to write it down, you can. But remember, a square needs 4 equal sides and 4 right angles, and a rectangle needs 4 right angles and opposite equal sides. So keep that in mind as you start to think about that, and we will talk about it and answer it in a little bit. All right, that's it for this video. See you later, friends.